Peace, this is Mr. Moore from Trial for New Sports Podcast. Back another video. We balling like it's March Madness in my future voice. The NCAA tournament is here. March Madness is here. Final Four take place in San Antonio. We're gonna go through the bracket real quick. South region, you got Auburn, number one overall seed. Now I will say this, and I'm not, because I'm an Alabama fan. I'm hating on Auburn. I think the case for them being a number one overall seed should have been more discussion for Florida or also Duke. Auburn struggled down the stretch. I think they lost 4 out of 5 or 3 out of 5. And they're still a really good team, but I think the tournament selection committee kind of had their mind made up uh, towards the back end of the season before Auburn started struggling that they were going to be the number one overall seed. I think Auburn did have the most quad one wins in the country this year. But shout out to them though. As far as the matchups that stick out to me in the South region, Michigan being a 5 seed is crazy work. They won the Big Ten tournament championship and they're a 5 seed. I really don't understand that at all. But of course, that 5-12 matchup historically has always been a tough game. Louisville Creighton should be a very interesting game. Also, Marquette and New Mexico should be a pretty good game as well too. East region got Duke number one. My Alabama Crimson Tide is number two. And I get into my predictions, a little later this week. If anybody wants to, if I think I should do a tournament challenge, let me know. I could put one of those together. Have a little fun with the NCAA tournament this year. But they're a 2 seed. Robert Morris, tough veteran team. You always got to be careful in those type of matchups. They move forward. They could potentially face St. Mary's and Vanderbilt. The game in this region that's probably going to be one of the most better games. It's probably going to be BYU and VCU. That should probably be one of the better games in this East region. I think Arizona, Akron will be a really good game too. Also, the 5-12 of Oregon to Liberty should be a great game as well too. Baylor, Mississippi State is interesting. I don't think either one of those teams could beat Duke, but they could make it interesting depending on if Cooper Flag is how healthy he is or not. Also, Midwest region, you got Houston, number one seed in this region. They could have a potential matchup with Gonzaga in the next round. Upset alert, of course, the Purdue going against High Point. You got your Clemson and McNeese, the 5-12 matchup. Um, Illinois versus Texas or Xavier is going to be an interesting game as well too. I think I picked Texas to win that game against Xavier and play Illinois. Texas has one of the best freshmen in the country, guard Johnson. He's probably going to be a high lottery pick in the NBA, so get a chance for a lot of people to see him who haven't seen him this year. Kentucky's a 3 seed. They got Troy. Shout out to Troy representing Alabama. Tennessee's the 2 seed. Tennessee's a very good team, and I wouldn't be surprised they can make it to the Final Four as well. Of course, the SEC set a record having 14 teams in. Very well could have a all SEC Final Four. The West region, Florida number 1 seed, SEC tournament champs. Like I said, could have very well been the number 1 overall seed. St. John's is back in the tournament, number 2 seed. Shout out to Rick Pitino for the job he's done with St. John's. Matchup stands out right off the bat with me is Kansas, Arkansas. Kansas struggled terribly this year. Preseason number 1, and they just really never lived up to the hype they had going into this season. Arkansas, John Calipari's first season there, makes the tournament. They were okay this year, but they did enough to make the tournament. Now they match up with St. John's in the next round. That'd be crazy. Pitino versus Calipari. Those guys are really good friends. That would be an interesting matchup. Also, the UConn Oklahoma 8-9 game. UConn back-to-back defending champs struggled this year, and of course, it wasn't going to be as easy them going for a 3P. They don't have the talent that they had the past couple of years. Can they challenge Florida? I'm not sure, but they can make it interesting. Memphis 5-12. Of course, you got to be careful with that game against Colorado State. Maryland Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon was led by head coach Bryce Drew. They gave Alabama a real tough game last year. I wouldn't be surprised if Grand Canyon upsets Maryland. in the West region. But that's just my thoughts. Quick little run through of the tournament. Also, because there was some controversy, as you can see here, these are the last 4 teams that was in. North Carolina, of course. I'll just say this: they're North Carolina. I mean, you can't leave North Carolina out of the tournament. Yes, they had only one win versus quad one team. I think they were 1-12. They did have one of the toughest schedules in the country, but I did win 20 games. But I mean, they had some pretty decent wins. But I mean, if you complain about them not being in, I mean, it's North Carolina. Shout out Texas making it well. Of course, Xavier and San Diego State. But those just a quick run through of the NCAA tournament. Like I said, let me know if you want to do a tournament challenge. Make sure you guys continue to subscribe to the channel, like the videos, comment on the videos, support all the links, and I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Peace.